The, the problems of Africa did not start with colonialism. The problems of Africa started not even centuries ago. The problem of Africa started millennia ago. To understand what's ailing us, it's very important. And this is part of the reason why most of the old scripts have been taken away from circulation. It's the reason why there's a rewriting of ancient scripts. The closest thing that is on unhindered distribution is before the oncoming of the internet. It was the Bible, which is in itself severely modified to what they say to suit the culture of the day. But remember, there was a period in the Middle Ages when the locals were not, in Europe that is, the people were not allowed access to even the Bible. But remember also, before that, there was a time when the king of the Roman Empire, who was called Constantine, called for a conference. I think it was I'm forgetting the name of the conference, but it was during that conference that he installed himself as the leader of the church, not just the Catholic Church. That time there was no Catholic Church. There was belief in Christ. Remember that when Christ came, the Roman Empire was ruling over that area of the world, or it was kind of the US of today. That was what the Roman Empire was, in control of the resources of the world, the most powerful military conquests. So that is what was happening at that time. It is largely believed that the Roman Empire continued to keep the papacy in the bloodline of the king, so that it's believed that even today the popes come from the lineage of the kings of Rome. Remember, Rome was in current continental Europe and upper North Africa. So it is further generally believed that most of the current European kingdoms are actually descendants of the Roman Empire. Concerning Africa, so by the word Africa, which was a word that was given to us by Europeans when they started on their conquest, because conquest, as it had been during the takeover of the belief in during the takeover of Christianity, it was known to rename not only just the feasts that were in the Bible, but even the places and the names of the people. It was common practice for good reason. So according to Nilotic history, oral history, now the Nilots are a group of tall, dark, and handsome African tribes that originate from the Nile Valley. Now, currently, their dwellings keeps going down the Nile, and I'll be explaining the reason why shortly. So, according to the Nile, the origins of the people of the Nile, who are generally called the Nilotes, these are the Nuer, Dinka, Luo, Turkana, and the related tribes that can now be found along the riverbanks. Their lifestyle currently is centered around rivers and lakes. So you'd find those related groups like the Madinka of Senegambia, who are very close to the river Gambia, and of course who are not classified currently as Nilotes. Stories, okay, but of very similar characteristics to the Nuer and Dinka. Then in East Africa, you'll just find them in southern Sudan, in northern Kenya, down the Lake Victoria area, down into northern Tanzania, northern Zaire, northern Uganda also. So, in their heydays, and it's not hard to imagine by looking at their stature right now, and even their mannerisms, the Nilotes were a warring people, powerful nation that is currently known as Misri in many African tribes. The Bible calls them Egypt, and the European named a small portion of what was a previously very large area of Misri. So, guess what brought down Egypt? Actually, their fall, the final nail on the head was the Roman Empire. According to their oral history, they say that the Romans conquered the land of Misri, and it was that time that the Nilotes started going down the Nile Valley. But long before the Romans conquered them, there was something else that conquered first, and that was famine. If you go back even longer than that in history, the Sahara was one of the most fertile areas in Africa. It was a mix of a water world and lush vegetation, to the extent that most of the early African kingdoms were actually centered around the Sahara, around these water bodies. I was looking at one of the maps, and it has a river going down, down to what currently is, in our current map, could be the Ethiopia area, then flowing westwards into the ocean. Now, it is my honest belief that that was an actual river that formed part of what is currently the Gambia River, because the desert came to suck out the water that was upon the land, and whoever controls the climate, or whoever has power to manipulate wind, ruled the day. Currently, our current quote-unquote civilization has just run onto inventions that are also quote-unquote new. But remember, there's nothing new under this world. There's nothing new on this earth. From the times that